Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna make some air fried chicken legs. All you'll need for this recipe is some adobo, preferably light because it has less salt in it, less sodium. You'll need a packet of this Goya Sazon, again preferably the low sodium version, and you need the one that says con oregano. And if you want to get a little fancy, you could add some parsley flakes to it. And most importantly, you'll need about 2 cloves of garlic. I would say 2 cloves for every pound, and this is about 1.5 pounds. So I'm just going to use 2.5 cloves. Alright, so let's add the seasoning. First, I'm going to add the adobo. And I don't really have like an actual measurement of how much you put. You're just going to put enough so that it coats all of the surfaces of each leg. And I'm gonna use 1 packet of these. I actually ran out, so I'm just gonna have to buy some more, but you're gonna use 1 packet for every pound of chicken that you have. And I know this is 1.5 pounds, but I think that 1 packet will do for 1.5 pounds. Alright, so you see it's not enough. I'm gonna have to get some more. Then you want to add your parsley flakes, right? Just enough to cover the chicken. And then most importantly, you will need your garlic cloves. So you're going to grate the garlic into the chicken. Some people actually, go through the trouble of chopping it up, mincing it, but chopping board and a knife, you don't really gotta do that. Do it the easy way like me and simply grate your garlic. You could do this with any recipe that calls for garlic. Shrimp scampi, when you're making seasoning oxtail, whatever. Instead of stressing yourself trying to mince it perfectly like a chef, you just grate it in. Careful not to scrape your hand. So that was actually 4 cloves, but because they were skinny I put 4 instead of 3. But if they were large, you would put 3 cloves. Right, make sure you get behind that blender and scrape out all of that garlic, and then you want to rub this in, like really get in there. Rub all of that garlic, all of that seasoning, like even get under the skin. And guys, we're frying chicken, right? American style fried chicken. So make sure you keep the skin on. The skin is the best part. If you're gonna take the skin off of chicken before you fry it, you might as well not have fried chicken. I don't see the point of that. And besides, you're gonna air fry these, so it's gonna be a little bit healthier than typical fried chicken. And another thing is, I'm just doing this the very old school way. I see a lot of new methods on the web now where people are actually adding mustard and soaking it in buttercream. I do want to try that one day, but I'm just going very simple and old school today, with seasoned chicken and seasoned flour, and then just put it in the air fryer. Right, so we're gonna season this and let this marinate for at least 15 minutes. A lot of people marinate their chicken longer, their meats longer than that. Like if you could do it overnight, that's better. But if you're short on time, 15 minutes is the minimum of what you need to get a good marinade. All right, so let's let that marinate, and we'll come right back. Alright, so now we're going to prepare the flour for the air fried drumsticks. What you'll need for the flour mixture is you'll need a container like this. You will need some flour, unbleached preferably, and you will also need some poultry magic to season the flour. Alright, so again, I'm not going to use specific measurements. I'm just going to use what I think is enough to coat 4 drumsticks, and I had some previously from the few days ago when I air fried some chicken, so I'm just using that leftover. It's just a little bit, so I have to make more. So I used about, let me see, I'm gonna use 3 tablespoons, not the actual measuring tablespoon, but the spoon from your drawer. I'm gonna use 3 of those, and then you're just gonna sprinkle some poultry magic in there to season it. And this already has salt, so you don't need to add salt to your seasoning mixture. And you just put that much, right? You get the lid, cover it up, and you shake it around, just like that. Very simple. We're not using any eggs, any buttercream. It's just a very old school style way of frying chicken. Well, aside from deep frying it, we're gonna air fry it. All right, so then you're gonna start coating your chicken and then preparing it onto the deep fryer. I like to do one at a time. I think it's less messier and it gets coated better. So I'm gonna put 1 drumstick at a time. All right, and then shake it up, just gently shake it up so it can get nice and coated. And there, now you have a nice coated piece of chicken. If you want to pat it down some more so it can get a nice thick crust. And then get your air fryer basket. You just lay it right on top, just like that. I'm gonna be doing 4 pieces. So here's my next piece. Cover it up. Shake it. And then you just repeat this for all of your drumsticks. Okay, so this is what our prepared air fried drumsticks look like. They are thoroughly coated on both sides. Just make sure that you have a little dish of some oil, frying oil, and we're going to crisp up. We're going to cook this at 375 degrees, and we're going to cook these for about 35 to 40 minutes. It really depends on how big your drums are. These drumsticks are pretty thick, so I think I'm gonna cook them for a total of 40 minutes just to make sure they're properly cooked through. But the method to the madness for me is I like to put them in for at least 20 minutes to get one side nice and crispy. Then I'll flip them for 10 minutes so the other side can get cooked, and then I flip them back over again for another final 10 minutes so that it can be crispy on both sides. So yeah, let's put these in. All right, and we'll be right back. I'm gonna set this for 20 minutes and then we'll be right back. Okay, so these have been in for 20 minutes and they are pretty crispy, right? So now I'm gonna flip them because I want the other side to be crispy. Right, so now we're just gonna brush them with a little bit of oil, not too much, just a little bit, so it could help get them nice and crispy, and so they could cook a little faster as well. Make sure you get all sides of the drumstick. Or the leg. What do you guys call them? Do you call them drumsticks or do you call them legs? Leave a comment and let us know. What do you prefer to call them? You can also use Pam cooking spray as well for this. Might be a little faster if you do. All right, that's it. And then I'm gonna put them back in for another 10 minutes. Okay, so it has been 10 minutes, and as you guys can hear, they are nice and crispy. So now I'm gonna turn them on the other side. Okay, back on the original side we were on. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of oil to these as well. Just a little bit, not too much, because we don't wanna, we're not deep frying, we're just air frying. And a lot of this oil is actually dripping to the very bottom of the pan, so we're not gonna actually consume much of this oil here that you see. Okay, just a little bit. And we're gonna pop this back in one last time for another 10 minutes. Okay, so this is 10 minutes later, and as you can hear, they are nice and crispy, and so I can't wait to dig in. But before we do, we're gonna cool this down for at least 5 minutes before we serve them. All right, guys, here we have it. Air fried chicken wings and a side of steamed vegetables. Still nice and crispy. Let's give it a try. Not greasy, but still juicy on the inside. You guys see how juicy that looks? Oh, it's perfect. If you guys like this recipe, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Thank you for joining us in making air fried chicken legs or air fried chicken drumsticks. Until next time, take care.